Welcome to the Latinos next door. My name is Yami and today I'm going to share how to make perfect dinner rolls in under an hour. The ingredients are very simple and I'll have them listed in the description box below. The first thing you're going to need is 2 packets of rapid rise instant yeast. You're going to put this in 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of warm water. To that, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of regular sugar, as well as 2 tablespoons of honey. The sugar is going to help activate the yeast, and the honey is going to give it great flavor. Next, I whisk together the sugar, honey, water, and yeast for a little bit to get it nice and frothy, and then I let it sit for 5 minutes. And in about 5 minutes, you'll see it get foamy like this. It's now ready for 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of vegetable or canola oil. Next, I add 3.5 cups of unbleached flour. Now, I start with 3 cups of flour, and then for the final half cup, I gradually stir it in because sometimes you don't need all of it depending on the type of flour you use. So it's always nice to see what it looks like and then add the remaining flour. I set it to knead for about 5 minutes. You're going to want it to pull away from the sides of the bowl. However, the dough will still feel just slightly sticky. Now it still looks a little sticky here, but since I had already put my entire amount of flour in it, I didn't want them to get too dry, so I went ahead and left the dough alone and covered it up. At this time, I set my oven to 400 degrees. I usually set my dough with the bowl near the oven vent so it can get some of that heat while it rises, and this is what it should look like in about 15 minutes. You want to place your dough on a lightly floured surface, and as you can see, the dough is still really sticky, but it is workable. You want to knead it slightly. I do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'll sprinkle a little bit more flour over it if it's still too sticky. You should have a nice smooth ball like this when you're ready to divide them up into smaller rolls. I'll cut the loaf in half. And then I'll mold both halves into elongated little loaves. Once I get them into similar shapes, I will cut these loaves in half again. And then these 4 loaves I'll cut into 3 separate rolls. Now you can do this a little bit more precisely and use a scale, but most of the time I just eyeball it and they turn out pretty even. Then you're going to want to shape each of the little pieces that you cut into little rolls. And in order to get that nice smooth top, you want to pull the bread from the front and kind of tuck it under itself, and then you want to roll the roll on your palm using one hand, and that's how you get that really nice smooth top. Next, I like to place mine in a greased glass casserole dish, and I like to let them sit about 10 minutes covered with a tea towel, again in a warm place. Now I'll be honest with you, today when I was filming this, I didn't have time to let them sit for 10 minutes, so I literally, as soon as I put them in the container, I put them right in the oven, and you're gonna see that they worked out just fine. You want to set them in the oven at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. These rolls will still be nice and light, but they will be a nice golden brown at the top when they're ready. And right when I pull them out of the oven, when they're still nice and hot, I like to add a little bit of butter over all of the tops. These rolls are so light and soft and fluffy. They have the perfect amount of salt and sweetness to them, and they go with so many dishes. And the best part about it is that these can be done in under an hour from start to finish. I'll have this recipe again in the description box so that you can try these out. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe so that you can get more yummy recipes like this and more lifestyle videos from your Latinos next door. Until the next one, adios!